Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, I have a very special guest on the show. Goes by the name of Rudy Herta, aka the big homie Rhino DFS. What's happening, big homie? How you doing?
None, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm actually going through my group right now, just looking at all the positive things people are saying about what we got going on.
Right. Very good stuff. This dude, I can tell you a little bit, give you a little background on how me and the homie hooked up. Okay, came into the sweatshop as a kind of a seasoned DFS player, had been playing for quite some time. Is that right? Yo, had been playing for a
Yeah,
little.
I was strictly NFL for a good 6 years.
Right, right. And got in with us in NBA. Wasn't very vocal in the beginning, but ended up the group kind of hit this little patch, man, where we just could not put it all together. And out of nowhere, Rudy came up with this perfect lineup strategy that totally changed the way that we all played NBA DFS going down the stretch. Made it very profitable for a lot of us toward the end. And the guy should be wearing a lab coat. Okay, a mad scientist. Really got in there, researched the trends. I mean, I'm talking about just wonderful, beautiful work that he did for us, man. And that was dope, and all for free, like just for the love of the group, for the love of the game, and that was beautiful. Well, what he's done now, we all were sitting around waiting on him to come up with something for MLB. And Rudy, tell us a little bit, just a little bit. I know the secret sauce is there. You can't give it all away. Tell us a little bit about what you've uncovered and what you've been doing in terms of MLB so far this season.
Well, first off, I want everybody to understand that what I am teaching is actually very newbie friendly because I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched baseball in probably 12 years or so, okay? Now, I did have money to play with after basketball season ended, so I was willing to get into MLB and just give it a try, even though I didn't know nothing, just with the help of you and the rest of the sweatshop. So, I mean, the first thing that I did is I tried to apply the NBA perfect lineup strategy over to MLB. Now that fell flat because baseball is a totally different monster.
The very
It just doesn't play the same as it doesn't play the same as any other sport. So after I ended up failing on that for a little bit, me being the person that I am, I always have to figure out why something works and why people are winning. So naturally, I backtracked again, started looking for stuff, and one thing that I love to do is to take off the DFS cap when I'm looking for a strategy. I get completely away from the things that a lot of those sharks teach you to do. I try to get away from looking at personal stats and just a lot of things that they tell you to factor into your player pool. I try to get way out of that and try to think as basically just a normal person looking at the game, okay?
right.
My mindset is to think way outside the box when I'm looking for a strategy. And in doing that, it took me a little bit of time. It took me taking a little bit of notes, and it took longer than I wanted it to. But once I caught onto something that I saw, it just exploded instantly. I mean, it was instant. I finally saw a trend. I started, taking it to the test and just quarter games and stuff like that. And you remember, not even maybe about a month ago, I was in the group preaching play the cash games. If you don't know baseball, right?
Right,
I was I
right.
was I was the cash game guy. I'm like, if you can't win, at least get in the cash games. You'll win your money that way because it's not that hard. Well, I think there was one winner you gain one price. I was like, man, if I would have entered this into some tournaments, I would have been money. So that was the first night I tested this strategy. The next night I threw it into some quarter games, and I ended up finishing really. That's when I knew into something that was for real, and this is for real in a totally different way than NBA was for real. Like this stuff here is legit. It is another level that people don't understand. And the thing about this strategy is there's a lot of guys out there, and by guys I mean the sharks that everybody watches on YouTube. You know, they go out there and they kind of preach this strategy to you, and the way they preach it sounds like it makes sense, like it's common
It
sense.
sounds
And
believable.
yeah, the way they teach you, it makes perfect sense the way they're saying it. But the thing that people don't understand is that they've been teaching you to do it absolutely backwards the
Wow.
entire time. And this is the trend that I have found. And in using that, I basically reverse engineered what they've been teaching thousands of people to do. And once I reverse engineered it, I've been hitting. And it's not just me, dude. Mo, you've seen people in the group. We have guys in there like Simon, who hasn't won all season in MLB, and he's taken down 2 tournaments in back-to-back nights. We got guys like Caleb that haven't won all season, and now he hasn't lost in about 3 or 4 nights in a row. We got guys that are just barely they're newbies to DFS baseball, just like I was, and now these guys are starting to hit, and they're all in the group excited and hyped up. And what's even more beautiful is that we got guys now going into like Bovada and Bet Online and stuff like that because the strategy is so powerful that it doesn't only multiply your winnings in DFS, but you can take this all the way to Vegas betting with you if you want to. So it's kind of twofold.
Now, and you know, I'm kind of upset that what you did was you left me out, because when you talk about guys like, you know, guys like this and guys like that, well, what about guys like me, who, after we sat down, or we had a chop up about this, where you really explained it to me in depth, you gave it to me in a really solid, really easy way, and this is what's showing up. Yo, I went out and I took down first place in the MLB 10K base hit single entry. It was a $12 buy-in. This lineup was so contingent on the information that I got from you that specific day in terms of who I should play, and it put me on guys that I probably would not have been on had I not taken, you know, heed to what we talked about. And there you have it, man. First place, took down it's a single entry GBP, $12 buy-in, won $500. And I was a little skeptical, so I didn't have this lineup. This is the only lineup that I had this in was in this one. I was a little skeptical. If I had trusted a little bit more and had this lineup in other spots, man, damn, I could have ran off with the side piece.
Well, I left you out because I know nobody can toot your horn like you can. You know, who better to toot the horn than the guy driving the car? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so yo, not only I'm not only I'm a client and the hair club president here, man. Because I'm all in, man.
And it took a little bit of fine tuning it because me and you, I brought this. You were the first person I brought it to when I started noticing the trend, and it was effective that way. But it took me kind of digging in a little bit deeper to really, really find it. And now I think we're at that point now where this thing can completely take off. Like, and it's beautiful too because it's based on simplicity. Like the reoccurring theme going on in the group that we have for this is simplify and multiply. A lot of people are out there that think you have to put in 6 hours of work every day digging into stats and all the little things, and at the end of the day, they don't end up mattering with this strategy. We have a video in the group that we chop up the pitching because the pitching's not going to change. We can look into that the night before. So we kind of go in and get an idea of who we like for pitching, and then we can just leave the stuff alone until about an hour before first pitch the next day, and we can just chill all day long. Go in, do the little bit of research that I teach you to do, and you've put in maybe an hour and a half of work, if that, to set up a lineup, and you're multiplying the money in a fraction of the time. It's literally that simple. And I teach people all the time, get out of your DFS mindset and get into this mindset. It's a lot easier. It builds your bankroll tremendously. I mean, it's almost like just a win-win situation with the system.
Now, and something you said when you said to me, yo, I don't know how many people I want to share this with. That's when I knew you were serious. When you said,
Yes,
there's a
yes.
limit on how many people you're gonna allow into the group, you're gonna allow to have this strategy. That's when I knew that you were very serious about this. So, let's talk about some price points because I said, I will bring you on the show. I will talk about it just a little bit, but you had to show my people some love. I got a lot of subscribers. These guys, really helped me out a lot over the last couple of years, man. So, what can we do for them as far as the pricing goes?
Well, first of all, to everybody that wants to get in, now is the time. Now, I just launched this whole thing about roughly a week ago, and I launched it inside the sweatshop group, and I gave everybody that was a member of the sweatshop incredible price. I mean, these guys, they most of them made their money back on it and then some in the first night that they used it. And I offered them a price that nobody is ever going to see again, and that was strictly for sweatshop members. Okay, now the price has already skyrocketed, and when I mean skyrocketed, I mean it. You can go onto my site right now, look at it, and you're going to be paying $199 for it. And I don't mean $1.99. I mean $199, and I am confident in that price, and I still think it should be more than that. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, because it is that valuable.
and,
Okay,
and there's a lot of
so
MLB left.
there's a lot of MLB left. Trust me, I feel that this thing should be worth about 500, but I know there's people out there that can't do that. So you can go through me directly and pay the $200. It sounds like a lot, but I can't legally say that I guarantee you'll win it back, but there's a great chance you'll win it back and then some 20 times over. Now, that's just through me. For your subscribers, for anybody that subscribes to the sweatshop on YouTube, I have worked out something with Mo because as valuable as this is, I don't want a ton of people in there. I only want people that are absolutely serious about winning in DFS. Okay, I don't want just anybody looking for a handout in there because those are the people that kind of go out there and share it with everybody. If too much people know about this, we're all in trouble. Okay,
Right.
so for anybody that subscribes to your channel, I'm sure Mo will drop a link down in the description for y'all, and y'all can get freaking deal. I'm talking about 50% off of the price for anybody that subscribes to Maurice in the Sweatshop YouTube channel. You can get an entire 50% off of the
Wow.
training. And the best thing about it is it's not just one and done. Okay, you're not just gonna buy it and we're gonna leave you hanging. You're gonna buy it and you're gonna get into the group with us, and I'm gonna be in there. And you can ask anybody that's in it now. I'm in that thing probably more than anybody else in the group. I'm posting nonstop. I'm doing videos every day. I'm probably gonna do even more videos. I'm currently in the middle of working on strategies for actually betting on parlays and round robins for doing Vegas betting. So this thing is actually going to get bigger and bigger. The So if you do want to get into it, if you have any interest at all, now is the time to do it. Because I'm telling you, the price may go up again. I'm not going to lie to you because this is that valuable. I am 100% confident in what I'm doing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, and I definitely, thank you for extending, that discount to all of the sweatshop members on YouTube, and the special discount that you rendered to all of the guys that are actually in the sweatshop, subscribe to the Facebook VIP, man. Many thanks for that. I know a lot of guys that are using it. It's working very well for them. Me being one of them. I paid for it too. I paid for it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the other thing about it too is I know I'm not one of the guys like you and Kyle. I mean, I've been chatting with Kyle from Fantasy Phenom lately. Me and him we've got down to real cool terms with each other. And you, Maurice, Kyle, everybody at Fantasy Phenom, those are well-known names. They're established names on YouTube and for the DF industry for the little people. And I'm one of y'all. I was a freaking shift supervisor at Starbucks for 6 years. That's what I did before I started doing this. I'm nobody special. Now I don't have the credibility that y'all have because I don't do the shows that y'all do. I totally tip my hat off to y'all for all the work that you put in because I've considered it and I've started it 3 times and quit because I don't have that dedication that y'all have. So I know with it coming from guys like y'all, when people hear y'all voice speaking about what I'm doing, people put extra credibility into it. So I definitely appreciate everything that you're doing to get this out there. Kyle's been really cool about speaking about it too because it's not me, and that's what I want y'all to know. This is nothing that's me that I'm doing. It's a strategy, and it's a strategy that works for everybody. So thank you, Mo. Thank you to Kyle if he's watching out there. But I don't have that credibility, so I know a lot of people are kind of hesitant to jump on. But you hear it coming from Mo. He showed you. I mean, he's the proof right there. He showed you. He took down the whole thing. So this is real stuff. If you want to get in, you got to do it now.
Word. Well, I know you're a busy man. You're up crunching numbers, doing your thing. I've got a pitching slate that I do want to go over. We got 9 games on tap for today, and of course, we're going to be jumping into the line drive at 5. That's going to be inside the sweatshop VIP. You might see the homie Rhino DFS in there chopping up as well. So, thank you very much for coming on the show, Rudy. Man, I appreciate it, and I will definitely be in touch with you soon. Definitely.
No doubt. You know what? Keep it 300.
Give me 300. All right, baby. Hold on, bro.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. That was the homie, Rhino DFS, man. Very solid cat. Guy that you can depend on for all of your information needs. Really cool stuff he's doing over there, man. So let's go ahead and jump into um, the pitching for today. And the reason why I do this way, the reason why I go about it this way, where I don't like to get in depth about batters and things like that and go position by position like a lot of people are going to be doing their shows, is because the batting orders haven't come out yet. Until the actual batting orders come out, it is going to be very hard to really put together lineups that we really like. And that's why we're going to meet here inside the DFS Sweatshop Facebook VIP, not here on YouTube, but in the VIP. We're going to meet here there at 5 o'clock. So if you are not a member of the DFS Sweatshop, you might want to make that change. And beautiful thing is, if now you're going to get the discount on Rudy's service just from being a YouTube subscriber, but you get an even better discount by becoming a member of the DFS Sweatshop. And I think it was $49.99. So that was a very solid price if you are already a DFS Sweatshop member, subscribe to the website. Now, if you're just a YouTube subscriber, you're going to get it for half price, which is $99.99. Still a great deal. I paid for mine. You should pay for yours, and we can go ahead and get to the money together. So let's go ahead. We're going to be working from RotoQL, of course. Big shout out to RotoQL, man. They do very great work. They are probably my favorite optimization software to use. I just love the way it's crisp, it's clean. I love the template that they have to go on as far as the actual the way the game layout, the way that they show the games. I like to use it in that way. I am not giving out their projections, their paid projections. That is a paid service that you cannot, I cannot show you, but I can use this template. And we're going to start with the very first game on the slate. It is the Colorado Rockies and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Of course, we've got 51% humidity here, 0% chance of rain, 7 mile per hour wind here, 84 degrees is the temperature. And on the mound, we've got Kyle Freeland, the left-hander, at 8.1K for the Colorado Rockies, and James Taillon at 6.8 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yo, Freeland over his last few starts has been very good in my opinion. I think 22-12. Best start of the season was down here. The first one at 23.9. A guy that can definitely get the ball past a lot of batters, man. I'm not going to say he is a strikeout guy, but he's a guy that can get strikeouts, if you know what I'm saying. So we got James Taillon on the other side. Now, he struggled in his last start, 5.25 against Cincinnati, 17 against Miami. His best start was against Chicago, in Chicago, 25.75 points. I kind of like some Colorado bats in the spot, so I don't think James Taillon is going to be a way that I'm going to be going. But, man, Freeland is good, but some of the right-handed power for the Pittsburgh Pirates, you might want to take a look at that. Of course, we're going to be examining that closely, a little more closely in the line drive at 5 in the Facebook VIP. But I'm going to highlight Kyle Freeland here as a potential play at the pitcher position. The next game we're going to get into is going to be Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals. This game is going to be in Nationals Park in D.C. You've got 0% chance of rain, 8-mile-per-hour wind, 48% humidity here, 90 degrees, going to be hot in D.C. So Steven Strasburg, man, was money in his last start. Now I want to go over to DraftKings. Of course, we got 9 games here. I want to go to DraftKings just to make sure that we have the exact same guys on the slate we're talking about. Freeland, Talion, yes, and we've got, of course, Strasburg and Folowitz here. Beautiful, beautiful. So Folowitz, I called him out as a start in his last one, and he had a very good game. I am not feeding that again today. I think, 24-33 in his last two against Philadelphia and Cincinnati. But I really think that those Washington bats, I want to get back on track. You can look at the favorite here. They are 5.1 projected runs to 3.4 projected runs. That is a ton, a big, big, big area of difference there. So Mike Folowitz, not a guy that I like. I will be interested in some of the Washington bats. Strasburg, on the other hand, was lights out in his last 4 starts, 25, 25, 47, 35. Very, very solid performances there from him. So he is definitely a guy that's going to be in play. I hate to attack the Braves with pitchers at any rate, but them being away from SunTrust Field kind of makes me want to take a shot at Strasburg at 12.7. I think that is a spot that I can most certainly get to. So I'm going to highlight Strasburg here and disregard Folowitz. The next game we got is the Philadelphia Phillies and the Boston Red Sox. We got Jared Eckhoff and Rick Porcello. The Phillies have not been tearing the cover off of the ball lately. Taking a look at where they are, 10th in the league in K rate, 23.4%, 141 WOBA with a 280 ISO. That puts Rick Porcello squarely in play for us at 8.6K. 10.5 runs is the only thing that may give me light trepidation. We've got 11-mile-per-hour wind going out toward that left center field area, 51% humidity, 84 degrees with a 0% chance of rain. I do like a couple of the Boston bats. We're going to get into that in just a moment. But so there will be no Eckhoff for me. But Rick Porcello is a guy that I definitely think we can use on today. Next game we got is the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets. We got 11-mile-per-hour wind at Citi Field in New York. New York, 50% humidity, 0% chance of rain, 85 degrees going to be the temperature here. We got John Lackey and Jake DeGrom. Now DeGrom, his last start was fairly decent. Well, excuse me. His last Pittsburgh, 36.5. But in these last 2 games, yeah, he got his ass handed to him. And ever since that injury thing came up with him with the blisters and stuff, I just hadn't played him. And I don't think that I have to today. Not against the Cubs, man. The Cubs are a very capable team here. They've got John Lackey on the mound at 7.7, 10 points, 20, 5.25, 6.65, 10. The last game that he did have that was really good was against the Colorado Rockies in Colorado. So the potential is there, but him being a right-hander, we know that the strength of the Mets order is going to be a lot of left-handed bats. Lackey is not a guy that I like. DeGrom is not a guy that I like. I would be more inclined to take a lot of bats in this spot. So the next game you've got is the Baltimore Orioles and the Chicago White Sox. These 2 teams have not been very good lately. You've got Wade Miley, Mike Pelfrey. I think Wade Miley is going to be in play for me here at 7.3. Taking a look at what the White Sox do in terms of their batting, they've been fairly disciplined over the better part of the season, but recently, man, it has really tailed off. 7th in the league over the last 14 days in K rate, 25.5%, 151 ISO with a 322 WOBA. That definitely means that Wade Miley is a guy that we may be able to look to in a spot. Let's open him up and take a look here. 0.20, 0.65, 17. So he has shown some positive games so far this season. And being a lefty against a lot of these righties would be a cause for concern. But I think if you're trying to pay down for pitching in some spots, Wade Miley is a guy that you may want to take advantage of. Mike Pelfrey, I think, is very attackable in this spot by a number of the Baltimore bats. Hopefully, we may see Manny Machado back. We have to take a look at that later on in the day. We may see Manny Machado back, but if not, there's a few guys in the rotation that we can use to go against Mike Pelfrey here. So I think Wade Miley is going to be a guy that I am going to have some thought in using. Next game we got is the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Yu Darvish at 8.8, Joe Musgrove's 7.6. Now the Houston Astros over the last few games, last 14 days here, very disciplined at the plate. Last in the league in K rate at 15.6%. Okay, they are in team WOBA number one, 389 WOBA for this team, and the ISO is right up there as well, 237 ISO. The only team above them is going to be my New York Yankees, so that's going to take pitching off of the table for me. Even though Yu Darvish is a very capable pitcher, very good pitcher, has not had one negative game this season. 25, 15, 9.5. 19.85, 32. The problem for me is, and this happens sometimes, because a lot of times, Darvish could come out and throw six shutout innings, sit down with a 4-0 lead, let's just say, and then the next thing you know, he sits down, and then they get into the bullpen, the Houston Astros, that is, and destroy it. Like that could happen. So that doesn't take Yu Darvish at 8.8 completely off of the table for me. Not completely off of the table. I may have a share of him, but he's just not a pitcher that I want to hang my whole slate on. You know what I'm saying? He's not a pitcher I want to hang my whole slate on. To me, he's approaching that level of being one of those pivot pitchers, the guys that I talk about a lot of times, where if you're not going to play him, you better have some bats against him. It's not going to be enough to say, hey, I'm just not going to play Yu Darvish, because this is a guy that does have 10K upside, even though we've got a Houston Astros team that does not strike out a ton. They're going to be favored in this spot, 4.6 runs here, 4.4 runs for the Texas Rangers. So this can be a very interesting game, one that we're going to have to keep our eye on. There is 29% chance of light rain here. We do have 11-mile-per-hour wind going out toward left field with a 68% humidity and 87 degrees. The dew point is 75, so we must watch this game very closely as the day moves on. Next game we got is going to be the Seattle Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. We got Giovanni Gallardo at 5.8 and Alberto Meja at 6.5. Let's go over and check over the DraftKings just to make sure those are going to be the guys that we have. Yes, that is exactly correct. Not in love with the pitching on either side here, even though we have seen some struggles against left-handers for the Seattle Mariners. But, you look at Nelly Cruz here, who's priced up 5.1. That guy is a lefty masher, straight lefty masher. You look at Giovanni Gallardo at 5.8. I think he is very attackable when it comes to some of that left-handed power we're going to see from the Minnesota Twins here. So, and this is a team, they had a pretty decent outing on Sunday, and I think that they can happen again. A 9.5 run total, 62% chance of light rain here. This game does have a probability of delaying or raining out. 80 degrees, 57% humidity with a 9-mile-per-hour wind. So be careful about this game as well. If you follow Kevin Roth on Twitter, check him out. He does really good work here. Now, you've still got my New York Yankees. They are not at home. They're not in the Bronx, but they are playing against Alex Meyer. You got Masahiro Tanaka against Alex Meyer, 7.8 for Tanaka, 6.4 for Alex Meyer. Now, the Angels have been another hot team recently. Let's take a look at where they are as far as K rates and ISOs and WOBA. We've got them 28th in the league in K rate at 16.6%. Very good. 137 ISO with a 309 WOBA. And I'm sure that was helped by the massive performance that we saw from them on Sunday. Is this a spot where I think, people are going to be afraid to play Tanaka because of the recent success we've seen from the Angels without Mike Trout? I think so. And that's going to lead me to kind of take a look and want to play some Tanaka in this spot. Am I going to play a pitcher against the Yankees? Hell no. Somebody got to show me that the Yankees are not who they've been over the last few games before I can play a pitcher against them. So I will have some exposure to quite a few of the Yankees bats. 8.5 run total isn't that high, but with 9-mile-per-hour wind, 0% chance of rain, 51% humidity, and a 69-degree temperature in LA, I think this is a very good spot for my New York Yankees here. Next game we got, in the last game on the slate, it's going to be the Cincinnati Reds and the San Diego Padres. We've got Bronson Arroyo at 4.9 against Luis Perdomo. Saw a big offensive explosion over the weekend for the Cincinnati Reds. Let's go ahead and take a look at where the Reds sit as far as everything. Now, K rate, 24.5% K rate. But if you look at that ISO at 219, that's going to show you what type of team this is. Either they're striking out or they're hitting jacks. And I don't want to be on the wrong side of that with Luis Perdomo. I really don't. You've got a 336 Woba, which is very good. Another cause for concern for me when looking at playing Luis Perdomo here in the spot. The fact that he's a right-hander, man, and the strength of this order is guys like Joey Votto, Scott Schebler, who bats a little bit further down. Billy Hamilton getting on at 3.9K. Like, that's tough. Very tough to go against. So, no Perdomo for me. And, Bronson Arroyo, man, he has been pretty bad so far this season. 6'8", 9.6, 0.8, negative 2.75, 11. Best start of the year was 25 against the Chicago Cubs. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know, this not another attackable team. You know what? I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna call Arroyo the pivot pitcher on the slate. Because if you were to pay down for Arroyo, the opportunities you would have to stack the bats that you like would be endless. And there is no other team that you can attack with any pitcher the way you can the San Diego Padres. And that was evidenced by what happened on Sunday. Okay, let's take a look at the Padres here. They're going to be the worst team in the league in K rate, 29.4% here, 167 ISO. Not horrible, but not great. 319 Woba, and this is over the last 14 days. Bronson Arroyo is a crafty veteran, not very great at all. But at 4.9K, what do you need him to do? I mean, if he doesn't give up 5-6 runs and pitches 5-6 innings, I think he can definitely get the run support against Luis Perdomo to at least get the win. This could be a good spot for Bronson Arroyo to get you 12 to 17 DraftKings points. He does that. You pay down for him in that pitching spot. You get to pay up in other spots for bats. Win-win. So that's going to be definitely a guy that I am going to consider. Someone who I know even after this conversation, nobody is going to want to own Bronson Arroyo. Nobody. So that's going to be the way that I approach this slate. Taking a look and recap over the pitching that we've talked about so far. Let's go ahead and take a look here. And I'm just going to pull this up. Now, these are the pitchers that we like. Strasburg, Porcello, Kyle Freeland, Masahiro Tanaka, Wade Miley, and the cheapest guy for the cheap, the cheapest pitcher on the slate is going to be Bronson Arroyo. This has been your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Great stuff we talked about. Thank you all for a really nice show. Hit me up. I'm going to drop a link in the description to this video to where you can lay hold and lay claim to some of that fantasy goodness that the homie Rhino DFS has been issuing out to us. So you'll have a wonderful one. Have a very nice and pleasant start to your week. It is Monday. Let's get to it. Remember, Mondays can be crazy in DFS. Bronson Arroyo, crazy Mondays. Remember, you heard it here first. So many thanks to you all. Thank you for all the work that you've done here and all of the help that you've given me inside the sweatshop. Much appreciated. Beautiful thing. Let's go out. And the number one thing that I want you to do whenever you're in the sweatshop is keep it 300. Yeah.